Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
Iranians gathered on the streets of Tehran to mourn the 40th day since the martyrdom of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Crowds carried flags and portraits of Khamenei and his son Mojtaba Khamenei. President Masoud Pezeshkian was seen among mourners as commemorations were held near the site where Khamenei was martyred at the start of the conflict.
Pakistan has stepped into a pivotal diplomatic role as it hosts high-stakes US-Iran talks aimed at turning a fragile ceasefire into a permanent peace agreement in the Middle East. Delegations from Washington and Tehran are arriving in Islamabad tonight, with direct negotiations set to begin on Friday morning. The US delegation is being led by Vice President JD Vance, accompanied by Special Representative Steve Witkoff and Senior Advisor Jared Kushner. On the Iranian side, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and Parliamentary Speaker Bakir Kalibaf will represent Tehran. The talks are aimed at transforming the current 2-week temporary ceasefire into a lasting peace arrangement. Unprecedented security arrangements have been implemented across Islamabad and Rawalpindi. More than 5,000 police personnel have been deployed, while law enforcement and intelligence agencies are on high alert.
The White House has confirmed that President Donald Trump is dispatching a high-level negotiating team to Pakistan, led by Vice President JD Vance, for talks with Iran. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the first round of negotiations will take place on Saturday. US Envoy Steve Witkoff and Senior Advisor Jared Kushner are also part of the delegation as diplomatic efforts gather pace. Meanwhile, Vice President Vance says a deal to end the conflict is possible if Iran negotiates in good faith. Speaking during a visit to Hungary, he said President Trump has directed the negotiating team to work toward an agreement.
Later, Trump said the US military ships and aircraft will remain around Iran and threatened that the US will start shooting again unless Tehran fully complies with the deal reached with Washington. He said on his Truth Social platform that all US ships, aircraft and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry will remain in place in and around Iran until the real agreement reached is fully complied with. He added that if for any reason it is not, the shooting will be stronger than anyone has ever seen before.
Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels that coordinate with its military. Deputy Foreign Minister Saeed Khatibzadeh said ships, including American vessels, can pass as long as there is no hostile behavior and prior authorization is obtained. Tehran has also stressed that safe passage depends on coordination with authorities, reinforcing its control over the vital global energy route. Meanwhile, NATO chief Mark Rutte says the alliance is willing to play a role in securing the Strait of Hormuz if required. Speaking in Washington, he said member states are now providing strong support to the United States, despite some initial delays at the start of the conflict. Rutte added that allies are responding to requests from President Donald Trump as discussions continue on securing the vital global energy route.
Israel has pounded Lebanon with its heaviest strikes yet, killing hundreds of people and drawing a threat of retaliation from Iran, which suggested it would be unreasonable to proceed with talks to forge a permanent peace deal with the United States. The warning from Iran's lead negotiator, Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Kalibaf, said Israel had already violated several conditions of that ceasefire by ramping up its parallel war against the Iran-aligned militia Hezbollah, while the US had violated the agreement by insisting that Iran abandon its nuclear ambitions. He said in such a situation, a bilateral ceasefire or negotiations were unreasonable.
Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is seeking direct talks with Lebanon as regional tensions threaten a fragile ceasefire between the United States and Iran. He said negotiations would focus on disarming Hezbollah and establishing peaceful relations, with talks expected to begin soon. The push comes as global energy flows remain disrupted, with limited traffic through the Strait of Hormuz and diplomatic efforts expanding from Islamabad to Washington.
Israel has carried out its heaviest strikes on Lebanon since the conflict with Hezbollah broke out last month, killing more than 250 people in one day and injuring over 1,100 as the Iran-aligned group resumed rocket attacks on northern Israel. On Wednesday afternoon, at least 5 consecutive strikes rocked the capital Beirut, sending columns of smoke into the sky as Israel's military said it had launched the largest coordinated strike of the war. It said more than 100 Hezbollah command centers and military sites were targeted in Beirut, the Bekaa Valley, and southern Lebanon within 10 minutes. And Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have voiced serious concern over ongoing ceasefire violations in Lebanon, urging immediate and full implementation of the truce to ensure lasting peace in the region. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar held a telephone conversation with Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan to discuss the deteriorating situation. Both leaders expressed deep concern over ceasefire violations in Lebanon and emphasized that full respect and implementation of the agreement is essential for sustainable peace and stability. According to a statement issued by the Foreign Office, these actions are not only a violation of international law, but are also undermining ongoing peace efforts. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.